This video is your Dragon of Icespire Peak DM guide for the Mountains Toe Gold Mine quest from the D&D Essentials Kit. Hi, Bob here, and welcome to Bob World Builder, the D&D channel where we improve our games together. Subscribe for new videos every Wednesday under your subscriptions tab. For Dragon of Icespire Peak gameplay, check the cards and description for a link to my session. Mountains Toe is one of the first 3 follow-up quests available after your party finishes any 2 starter quests. And contrary to what I said in the Loggers Camp DM guide, turns out this quest is significantly more challenging than the others if your party is not properly equipped to fight Wererats. I learned that the hard way, so be sure to check out my Wererat tips at the end of the video. Here's the quest card that the party receives. The Mountains Toe Gold Mine lies 15 miles northeast of Phandalin. The new overseer, Don John Raskin, just made the trip from Neverwinter to Phandalin and needs to be escorted to the mine. There's no telling what dangers lie between here and there. Once you deliver Raskin safe and sound, return to Town Master Harbin Wester to collect a reward of 100 gold pieces. So by merely escorting Don John to the mine, they can earn 100 gold, which is a pretty hefty sum for the party, but not for the Neverwinter-based mining consortium that hired Don John to get this site functioning again. So wait a minute, who has really been paying your party this whole time? Harbin Wester is described as a banker, not a philanthropist. Is he giving you the townspeople's savings? This came to light when I watched How To D&D's guide for the Dwarven Excavation quest, where they recommend having a guild like the Lord's Alliance supply the actual funding. Check out their new series for even more Dragon of Icespire Peak tips. Link below. As written, there are no combat encounters during your party's few hours of travel, making this a very easy quest to technically complete. So you could replace the 6 dragon-killed orcs with live ones, but this encounter is a good reminder of the adventure's main threat. For an exciting twist, you could have the party watch from a great distance as Cryovane blasts 2 or 3 orcs, snatches one off the ground, or even makes a harmless pass over themselves, not sure if it didn't see them, or just didn't think they were even worth the trouble. And use the trip to give Don John some personality. If I could do a decent Australian accent, I would have run him just like Crocodile Dundee. When your party arrives at the mine, I recommend calling for a perception check to notice the various entrances and the miners' graves outside, rather than forcing them to the main entrance as written, because that may mislead the players to think it's the only entrance. The mine itself is troublesome because Don John is written to neither have a map nor know the layout, and it has a lot of rooms and winding passages, making it difficult to run Theater of Mind or even drawing it out on a grid. That said, half of the numbered areas contain no enemies, clues, or loot, so I created my own condensed map and gave it to the PCs courtesy of Don John. It has the same general layout, combines the boring rooms, and simplifies the passageways. DM and player versions available through the Reddit links in the description. Before we get to the Wererats, that carrion crawler in area M11 is basically a bag of hit points, so I recommend reducing its HP from 51 to about 15, or replacing it with 1d4 Sturges. These bat-like creatures are found later in the Dragon of Icespire Peak, and the bloodsuckers seem more likely to live in such a small tunnel. Or you could replace it with a simple trap like a narrow 10-foot pit to slow intruders, or a bell on the door to alert the gang in area M4. With only 33 hit points, Wererats may not appear dangerous, so please note, they can only take damage from silver weapons, magic weapons, and spells as written. Now, one Wererat is a CR2 creature, so the 2 guards in area M1 are a fair fight for a level 4 party of 4 player characters. However, Area M4, the Wererat Den, is written to contain 1 Wererat for each PC, plus 1 for Don John, plus the gang boss, which is a deadly encounter not even including the 4 giant rats also in this room. Some simple solutions are to halve the number of Wererats in each location, split their total numbers between more rooms, halve their hit points, or change their damage immunity to resistance, so they take half damage instead of none. And I prefer this last suggestion because it makes non-spellcasters at least somewhat effective, including the surviving miners from area M15. Perhaps the best suggestion is to properly equip your party. Though the previous adventures contain 0 opportunities to get silver weapons, and just one chance to be given a +1 weapon if they help a sentient giant crab in the Tower of Storms side quest. So you could have them find silver or magic weapons in the Dwarven Excavation or Gnomengarde quests, Big Al could reward them with a magic weapon instead of mithril armor in Butterskull Ranch, or maybe they could hear about a special sale on silver weapons from the Lion Shield Coster in town, if that's not too obvious a foreshadowing. And keep in mind, your PCs could become Wererats here, gaining those awesome immunities, a bite attack, as well as giant rat and hybrid forms. Now check out my Mountains Toe gameplay video and more from the DM Guide playlist. Thank you for watching, and keep building.